Hey, thanks again for joining me for another week of my vlogs, Rodney O Weekly. And today I'm so excited because who loves coffee? We all love coffee, right? Now, I don't have a certain taste for it, but I do know a lot of people love coffee, and we all know the popular brands out there. But I got a special treat for you today because those of you who are inspiring business owners, you don't want to miss this one as I talk to Morné, who's the owner of Journey Coffee, and let's go check it out. I'm so happy and excited this week that I get to talk to the owner of Journey Coffee, Morné.
Okay.
Thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
All right. And so I just kind of want to tell the people, I'm all about business. I love entrepreneurship. You're the owner of Journey Coffee. Just kind of give a background of who you are, what got you into coffee, what got you into wanting to be a business owner.
Yeah. So I've always wanted to own a business, always had a passion to do something and creative and start something from scratch. And we moved to California actually for an aviation career. And that ended, unfortunately, after 3 months of moving here. And the guy who I was working for had passed away. And we were like, man, we just moved from the East Coast to California for this career that was really exciting. And that didn't work. So we used that as an opportunity to say, okay, well, what do we want to do with our lives? How do we use the gifts that we have and the passions? And we kind of started praying and thinking about, like, what does this look like? And we said the things we love is people, things we want to see is community, and we want to value people. We want to show people that they're loved and that they don't have to be alone. And like, man, how do you do this in a real world? Other than maybe at a church. But coffee was the thing that kept coming up, and we weren't in any way coffee snobs or coffee connoisseurs. I enjoyed drinking coffee, but never was considered a coffee guru or a snob or a coffeeholic. But that's how Journey started. We had a passion to see community, and we had a love for people, and we wanted to make sure people didn't feel alone in this world. I come from another country, so I know what it feels like to be alone in a world. And there's a lot of people that are, even though they're in the same country that they were born in, that they still feel alone. Right. So it's a journey started from that.
And so what country were you from? Are you from
South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah. And so you go into coffee, and how did you start? I mean, did you go and just get like a building and start getting equipment, or how did you start in coffee?
Well, we first felt like, we needed to test the market. Even Vacaville is not considered a specialty anything. It's considered a chain store, like avenues, is chain stores everywhere. 12 Starbucks in Vacaville. Right. And so anyways, we started with a coffee truck just to test out the waters and see if there's even a market. If it didn't work, we'd sell the truck. Right. There wasn't a huge investment of, if it didn't work, we've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars and stuck in a lease. So the truck started. After a few months, we realized this is a market for it. We started using the truck then as a marketing tool. Once we felt like we had enough base to open up a cafe, that's when we started really aggressively looking for a cafe. Because again, our vision of community can't really happen in a coffee truck. Right. So as much as the coffee truck was great and it was working, it didn't fulfill our vision. It was just a birth from that vision. And once we got to the place we felt like we have enough customer base, we were ready to open a store. We found a store and a cafe, and we really negotiated really hard with the landlord to get us in there, and then after less than a year, we had our first cafe. Nice, because I often tell people, like, start off small, start off with something you love, but just kind of start off without getting too much debt. And so that's kind of what I do. Is I'm a home office right now, and I have some people who are going to join me in my real estate business, and once I get some agents, we get some things going, then we'll get a building and get a place to go, and then grow from there. And it sounds like that's kind of what you did, which is excellent. Yeah, we opened up Journey with $15,000 debt. Yeah. And amazing. After 9 months, we paid that off, and we've expanded to a bigger cafe, to a bigger roasting facility, all really with debt and small growth. Yeah. A lot of people are amazed at that and said, how's that possible that you grew without capital? Right. And there is ways to do it. You just have to be wise with how you budgeting and how you forecasting, and also a lot of hard work. Yeah. When we opened the store, I did a lot of the painting and all the woodwork stuff myself to keep out of debt. So I would definitely say any startup business, really be wise with capital and don't go into any debt.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting because you went into coffee, and everybody knows, Starbucks and Peet's Coffee and a couple of other big ones, right? But those are the two main ones. And so, did you have any, any nervousness or any reserves about like, no, maybe not coffee because people quote unquote say it's saturated market and Starbucks has everybody else closed off?
Yeah, there's definitely those fears. But I think in any kind of business, unfortunately, if you build a model based on a product, you're not going to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And Starbucks did not offer one-on-one connections with people, and relationship and community and a place to have fun, get-togethers and barbecues. And we've had weddings at our cafe, we've had bridal parties at our cafe, we've had birthday parties, we've had retirement parties, we've had a lot of community things happen at Journey that can't happen. So I think for us, you have to have a good product as a business owner, as someone who's going to sell something. But for us, people was the most important thing, and I didn't see that was something that was at all a competition for us, to be honest with you. But also, there's also a new growth in what's considered specialty coffee and third wave coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And that market in America is growing larger and larger, which everybody's moving away from Starbucks and Peet's sweet and dark and more specialty sourced coffee and ethical sourced coffee. So we were in the beginning stages, luckily as well, of a product that was changing in our culture from Starbucks and Peet's, and it's growing.
Yeah,
it's a growing thing. So.
Yeah, nice. And so you mentioned before about prayer and about connecting with people and churches and stuff. Just like me, you're a man of faith, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so how does that play into your business? How does that play into? Because for me, my philosophy is I don't want people to come to me just because I'm a Christian. I want people to come to me because I have integrity, I'm honest, I love people, I want to help them achieve their goals, but my Christianity plays a part of that. So how's your philosophy with being a Christian business owner?
Yeah. I would say before we thought about Journey, I had an opportunity to go into full-time ministry opportunity, and probably a dream job for me, and loved this idea of working at a church and being just a full-time ministry person. But God ended up taking us down this road of Journey, and it's been incredible to see my philosophy change and my energy and input into this world than maybe 10 years ago, that I was really putting a lot more of my faith-based works on a Sunday or Thursday prayer. And Journey has been a tool for us to be able to do the same things we did on a Sunday every single day.
Right.
Our biggest ministry for us is our staff. We have about 35 staff members, and the ability to really let them know that we care about them more than the job, and input into their lives, and we have very real conversations with them. So that ministry for me is such an amazing tool and such a blessing. We don't take for granted that we have these people under us. And I think for any business owner, I just want to, if you are listening to this, don't take for granted the people that God has given you in your business, and pour into them. Even if they're not going to pour back to you straight away, just pour into them. Jesus did not choose, well, this guy's going to give me more and I'm going to pour more into him. He gave us his life for everybody. And so our staff has been a huge way for us to do ministry. I've kind of intentionally had some staff that are believers as well, who are just really in the ranks with these guys and getting their hands dirty at work, and it's just been beautiful to see some of the fruit coming from that, and then also even our customers. Like you said as well, I don't want people just to think I'm a Christian because I go to church, or I'm a man of faith, but I want them to see that I'm a man of integrity, and I'm a good business owner, and I've got a thriving business, and I can always in those moments say, hey, I do have a thriving business, but God actually was the guy who was behind all of the scene work of all of this. So really having the opportunity to be able to share the gospel with customers has come up as well, but it's come out of a relationship building. It's not being a Bible bashing, evangelical kind of thing, but just out of real life and building real relationships with people has been a blessing to be able to mix faith and church. And it's been really great partnering with Valley Church. It's So it's so important for churches to help believe in businesses and not just thank them for their tithe, but really see how there is any way to cross over and how we do ministry and life together.
Right.
And Valley's given us an alley to be able to bridge our work and life and family and church all in one. And it's just been it's an amazing, beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, and that's good because, the people is what kind of drives everything, and the community is what drives everything. And I've always wanted to be a business owner who puts people first and really pours into people and communities. I've always said that Trinity Real Estate will be a company that allows me to do ministry, meaning that I can go and I can just do more than just sell houses to people. And it sounds like you're saying the same thing with Journey. Yeah. And it's interesting because how does this expand? We talk about the local church, but Journey seems like it expands beyond that to kind of global.
Yeah. So again, Jesus said to go to Judea, Samaria, to the ends of the earth, right? That applies to all of us. And for Journey, it's just really beautiful to start seeing how even our buying with our farmers, we've started building relationship with farmers in El Salvador and Mexico right now. And for us to be able to support them and their hard work and guarantee them a wage at the end of their harvest season is a great way to just, again, sow seeds in other nations. And my goal and my heart is really to start partnering more with some of the churches that are already doing work in there. I can only do so much here in our community, and I can't be the missionary in Uganda and all these other places, but this church is doing that. So for me, I'm really just praying for more relationships that cross over and the ability to be able to support the mission work that's maybe in the farming communities.
Right.
So yeah, it's really an exciting thing that just by selling a cup of coffee, we are able to impact different nations. Yeah,
that's amazing. Everything you're saying, I'm right with you. And so you have 2 locations now, correct? Started from a truck, now has 2 locations, and we're sitting kind of in this under construction area. Explain what's going on. We're in your Fairfield location, and you have some construction going on. What's happening here?
Yeah, so it's really exciting. We have a 6,000 square foot facility in Fairfield that's getting built out. The roasting facility might hit at the background, but the roasting facility is here, and we have a really large roaster to focus on wholesale accounts and partnerships with other people who have cafes. And then we also have our offices here. We have a meeting room, and then we have about 4,000 square foot of space for community and all kinds of fun parties to happen.
Right. One last thing is, if you had any advice to tell people like myself who are into business, want to build a business, because you've been in business since what year?
2013.
2013, yeah. And so that's really good growth that you've had. What advice would you give to people who want to go into business or who are in business and trying to grow?
Man, one piece of advice.
One or two, a couple points maybe.
I think I've met so many people who want to open up small business or entrepreneurs who have a bit of a fantasy of that it's easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's hard. It's really, really hard work. But at the same time, if there's really something that you believe in and you feel like this is what you're meant to do and meant to be, success is not a measure of a dollar amount. It's a measure of faithfulness. And if there's something you really feel that you're needing to be doing in your life, and hopefully again you're opening up a business because you feel like this is something you need to do, not just like, hey, this sounds like a fairy tale fun thing to do, but you have an intentional something in your heart and in your inner being that I really feel like this is what I need to do. So don't measure your success ever as a business owner from a dollar amount or how many customers you're seeing. Measure it in terms of, have I been faithful with what I really feel like I needed to do?
Right.
And a friend asked me once, like, if Journey closed down, after a year, like, would you have felt successful? And I was like, oh man, that's a tough question. And I probably at that point would have said no. But looking back at it now, if I see all the lives that were changed just in a year, even if it was just my own life. So that's my piece of advice. It's not easy.
Right.
But at the same time, don't measure your success by anybody else or anything else, by numbers, by amounts of customers, just by faithfulness. Did I do what I really felt like I should have done? Have I done it well?
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. Morné, thanks a lot.
Cool, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one. All right, guys, I just finished up another podcast this week, and so thank you for joining me on my Rodney O Weekly. I had a great time talking to Morné at Journey Coffee, and if you live in a local area, Fairfield or Vacaville, California, go ahead and please visit Journey Coffee. It's really well worth it. It was really inspiring. He really inspired to me how important it is to keep on ministering to people, to keep on talking to people and keeping people close, to keep on investing in people. Because me, as I do Trinity Real Estate and building that business, it's just good to see that somebody's building their business on the way I'm trying to build my business. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy that. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a week of these Rodney O Weeklies, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks.